That's if you never use your card in the meantime. I mean, you'd have to put it in the freezer, in water, right? Okay, budget, save, manage credit, a short version of how you set up a long-term blueprint to prepare to pay for your child's education. Now, you may have heard that saving can hurt your chances for financial aid. That's only a little bit true these days because things have changed. On average, when you apply for financial aid, you're asked to pay based on income and assets. Savings are assets, right? But current formulas tax only about 5% of assets a year. That is, the formula assumes that 5% of your family's savings are available to help out with tuition or fees every year. And that's not too bad. The size of your family matters, and whether you have more than one child in college at a time matters. So all of that factors into your favor. If you don't want savings in the family name to be considered when you apply for financial aid, you could put it into someone else's name. Someone you really trust, who's willing to pay tax on the interest as needed, who can hold the asset for your child for years. Don't do it, if you only have 2 years. That's fraud, but it's also not going to work. And then someone who'd be willing to gift it back when it's needed for school. So you'd need a written contract. I think it's a lot of work and risk for a little benefit, but if you have a lot of savings or you want to make that a fund the whole family contributes to and then releases when it's needed, it could work. Just don't build a large account, as I said, only to transfer it at the last minute. I mean, the financial records show what you've done, There's another leg of our long-term blueprint, and that is investing, okay? It's setting things up so that your money makes money. And I would be the first to say that given what's happened to us lately with the stock market, that it's okay to be shy about what Wall Street's done to us. I can tell you stories. You'll love it. But let's think of investing as more than Wall Street. Investing encompasses a lot of different things. So I want you to think this way. It's a mantra that I have. Keep it simple. Only invest in what you understand. Keep it cheap. Don't pay high fees for low returns. Keep it balanced. Don't put all of your eggs into one basket. And keep it invested. Just as you do with teenagers, you have to stick with investments. And it pays off eventually, you hope. Right? Okay? Jumping in and out of stocks or bonds or savings accounts reduces what you can save for the future. So keep it simple, keep it cheap, keep it balanced, keep it invested. Simple, cheap, balanced, invested. Tattoo that on your forehead. Well, just make notes. Okay, so what should you invest in? Remember to keep it simple. You want to keep it separate from your other savings maybe, and you want to keep it safe from casual borrowing because you don't want to go to your child's education fund after 5, 10, 15 years of saving and go, oh, it's not there. That's right. I borrowed it for Christmas. Right? So what do? Well, you can put the money into certificates of deposit, and those are timed deposits. You put money into an account for anywhere from 7 days to 5 years, and you can earn a fixed rate of interest. If you have to pull the money out of those for an emergency, the penalties won't break you. But it does keep it separate. It is a goal. It's there for a certain amount of time. It's a good savings tool. You can also invest in municipal bonds or 5 or 7 year treasuries, even up to 10 years. Now, let me explain what a municipal bond and a treasury is, okay? They're considered very safe. A little more on that later. They're debt. You give the state or the federal government money, and it gives you the IOU. That's your bond, okay? It's your municipal bond or your treasury bond, or no. And it says, we will pay you X amount of interest for X number of years. And then at the end of the time that we promised, we'll give you everything you gave us back. Okay? So you earn the interest, and then you get your principal back. It's a great way to put money out of reach. They are tradable. Again, if you need emergencies, you can buy and sell them. You may not do as well as you'd like. In certain environments, you can make more, in others it will leave you with less, all right? When you invest in treasuries, you lend in $1,000 increments, depending upon the size of the bill or note you want to buy, at a fixed rate of interest for a fixed period, just like I said. When it comes to muni bonds, you lend in $5,000 increments or more. Sometimes most often they require at least $10,000 to a state government in return for fixed interest, right? With the state's economy as shaky as it is, I can't come up here and say to you, go buy munis. But I'm not going to say to you, don't buy munis. Here's why. A general obligation municipal bond is insured by taxpayers. The state guarantees that the population will be taxed in order to pay off that debt. Okay? That's what the big battle is right now in Sacramento. That and the fact that the cut in the car tax, they don't want to restore it. That's $30 billion they don't want to restore in order to pay for the services that we use. Okay? So that's the fight. How are we going to pay our debts? And it's a big battle. So you should know that when it comes to California, oh, poor rabbit. When it comes to California, that I don't want to say go out and buy it, but you know, sometimes when someone needs money the most is when they're willing to pay the most for you to lend the money. So this is something you're going to have to look deep in your heart and read a lot before you make a decision. It's similar for the federal government, but as you saw, the Federal Reserve will just print the money to pay you back. So, you know, you can buy it, you can say to the federal government, I'm going to lend you X amount of dollars for Y interest rate over a certain number of years, and you'll get your money back. If you don't, the world will be over. It won't just be the U.S., let me tell you. Okay, now you can also get tax breaks on the municipal bonds and the treasuries if you buy the muni bonds from your own state. Do not buy any bonds that are not general obligation. Don't go out and buy these special bonds for special districts and schools, not in this environment. And another time I'd say, yeah, use your brains, look at it, think what's good and buy it, but just be careful right now. I don't want to see anybody lose any money, right? So always make it general obligation. If the economy improves and you get brave and educated, then you make up your own mind about how much farther out you go and how much more interest you get. I think some of you have probably heard of 529 accounts, have you? Okay, those are the accounts. They're college savings plans. They're state-operated investment plans. They let you save for college without paying federal taxes on what they earn, okay? And in some states, taxes are waived for residents. That happens in California. But you don't necessarily have to invest in your own state's plan. There are a lot of plans out there. There are two types of 529s. One is a college savings plan, and the other is a prepaid tuition plan. That's where you lock tuition in at state public colleges at current prices. So you can lock in what you're going to pay for UC, okay, at today's prices, and if it's up significantly when your child is ready to go to college, you're still only going to pay that. You hope, right? Okay, now when you take the money out for college, you don't have to pay taxes, so you're getting a tax break on 2 points. One on the earnings, and on one when you take the money out to pay for college. Unlike a 401k, you know, you put your money in tax-free. It grows tax-free. When you take it out, you pay taxes. The 529, you put your money in. I don't believe that's tax-free to start with. You don't pay taxes on the earnings, and you don't pay taxes when you take it out. Okay? It's kind of like a Christmas club. You know, you can put away small amounts of money, and it grows. Now, those are the pluses. The downsides is if there's an emergency and you really need the money, if you take that money out, there's a 10% penalty and federal